Hello everyone, I'm Hanrupi and today I'll be showing you how to do really basic clouds. Now first off, you should probably know I'm using Paint Tool SAI. You have to pay for it, but everyone I know just pirates it anyway. I bought mine though, so don't pirate things. Anyway, first you're going to start off with the sky, obviously. So usually what I like to do is choose a not too saturated blue. And then I use my watercolor. I'll put my brush settings in the description. Use the watercolor brush, which I have right here, and a little bit darker. Now when you're choosing darker colors, you're going to want to move this little dot here instead of just moving this thing. So you move this a bit where it's a deeper blue, make it darker. Right now you can just blend it in. A problem I've seen with most artists is that they like to press down really hard when they blend things. Usually I find it's better if you just lightly press down on your tablet. Because what you're trying to do here is make a smooth blue gradient from dark blue to light blue. And speaking of which, our light blue should come on this lighter green side. A bit lighter there, and blend. Alright, so now that you have your gradient, you're going to want to start a new layer and use the marker tool. Again, I'll put my brush settings in the description. Usually I choose a pretty big marker setting, like maybe in the 100s, 200s area. Straight white, because it's cumulus clouds that we're making, by the way. Now what you're going to want to do is make circles like this. If you want to see the movements I'm doing, I'll use the pencil to show. It's just circles like this. And you have to always make sure you're pressing lightly. Just little circles, stuff like that. Okay. Make a cloudy looking shape. Not sure how to describe it. Now, here's where you actually put pressure down. You press down hard, oops, and there you go. You get straight white instead of that mixed blue. Now generally what you're going to want to do is make sure that the middle parts are more white than the edges, so that it gives an illusion of depth, as you can see here. You can also add in multiple clouds. And these are by no means realistic, so I hope you're not expecting a realistic cloud. More pressure, as previously stated. And now we can put in smaller clouds. So we'll do something like this in the distance. A good rule of thumb is the farther away you want it to look, the less pressure you apply. Just little circles. Ooh, no. Go away. Okay. Maybe some here. Little lines. Alright. Now that you have those in place, you merge two layers with this button. Then I take out my rendering brush, which is my rough render. I made it myself, so I'll put that in the description. Usually a smaller brush than the marker is what I use. Now what you're going to do is color pick. Now to color pick, you have to use the eyedropper tool, which is right here, and you constantly just pick colors and then render. So for example, you can see my cursor becoming an eyedropper right there. That's showing how I color pick. I have a button set, so that's why I can do it. I'd recommend setting a button for your eyedropper tool so that's easy to just pick a color whenever you're drawing. And then I just use smaller circles to blend it into the sky, if that even makes sense. You can see here that the blue is mixing with this white here. See? Again, make sure that you are pressing lightly. Looks like I'll need a bigger brush for this, so go. Pressing lightly. And if you want to denote any sort of light, you can press down harder, as usual. Now if you want to shade with your cloud, you can choose the blue background and just blend that slightly into your cloud. Oops. And now for this little cloud, you can also refine the edges by using the blue of the sky and just kind of cutting away at the cloud itself. And also this part. Alright, looks like they're about decently rendered. Now if you want to be super fancy, you can add another layer, go to your pencil, or your pen, I'm pretty sure it's either or, and you choose a slightly bigger size than that. You pick straight white, and you just outline the really bright parts of the cloud. It really makes part of it stand out. For the smaller clouds, you might want to choose an off-white, like this blue, maybe this white. There you go. And don't mind all my undos. Alright, now you can, if you don't like how that looks, you can always lower the opacity with this little bar here. Merge that down. And now you can add another layer, of course. All about the layers. You choose straight white. And with your rendering brush, lightly dab in some white speckles. Even smaller speckles. Lower the opacity, merge down. That's all you really have to do. And there you have it. Those are your clouds. Ta-da! If you want, you can also add in a light source by going into and adding another layer. You go here to the mode of your layer, choose luminosity. Usually choose yellow because that's a good bright color. And with the watercolor tool, I just lightly color in some light here. And if you don't want it that bright, again, you can mess with the opacity. And if you really want to get fancy, then you can add another layer on top, make it overlay, and with your airbrush, you choose really bright colors like this really saturated red, and you just add in some color. The red mixed with blue makes purple, of course. And see how that works out here. And you can also mix it in with some really deep blues. Or perhaps some orange. The most important part is just playing around with the colors until you get something you like. Usually I like to mix them around with this watercolor brush. Mess with the opacity. And you can see the difference. See, what this is with overlay and this is without overlay. So you can see how the colors really make it look more interesting. So I hope that helped you all. It's a pretty simple tutorial, and of course these are not realistic clouds. So yeah, hope that helped. See you.